Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side, and the one institution that has stood by our side is the courts. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
So let's start by talking about the thing that we came here to discuss, and that is what in the world is going on in Memphis with XAI, which, for those of you who don't know, is Elon Musk's AI company. He's got this thing called Grok, which, if you go on X Twitter, which hopefully you're still not going on there because it's a demonic place, but he's got this thing called Grok, and it's powering his new business, which is XAI, which is supposed to compete with all the other AI companies. But there's a part of it that's located in Memphis. Talk about what that is and what it's doing.
That's right. Okay. Look, see, once you start talking about them, then everything starts trying to mess
Starlink
up.
comes for you.
Starlink, there it is. But let me know, because I can try and connect to some other things.
You're
because
good.
I definitely want to have with you. But the reality is, it's just not a good day when you turn on the news and it's Elon Musk is in your front yard, in your backyard, in your neighborhood. And many elected officials started to praise this as a really good thing. But people in our community were immediately cautious. Because we have seen corporations come in to exploit our community. And that's exactly what's happening here. And it's great we're doing this now, because it's actually tomorrow's the 1-year anniversary since this project was announced in Memphis in 38109. And before I even talk about what he's doing with XAI, let's talk about our neighborhood. We have 17 toxic release inventory facilities surrounding our community, from Valero Oil Refinery to the Tennessee Valley Authority's combined cycle plant. We have a cancer risk that's 4 times the national average in this neighborhood. Both of my grandmothers, God rest their soul, died from cancer. We're one of the top zip codes in the entire state for pollution, and kids having asthma. We're an asthma capital of the United States. We have an F in air quality. So we got some systemic problems that existed before Elon Musk and XAI decided that they wanted to come into our community. But since they arrived, they came with all these promises of jobs. They came with all the things that these corporations do. But one of the things they also came with was gas turbines. And they were unpermitted, unregulated. They didn't get a single piece of paper giving them permission to do it, but they were not getting the enforcement from the Shelby County Health Department, from the mayors either, that would actually force them to protect our air. So now we started off with 15 to 18 turbines, and now it's 35 of them, polluting our air with nitrogen oxides, with formaldehyde, and many things that are hurting our community.
And so let's talk about the process of getting it. You said it's a 1-year anniversary of this project being announced. What were the steps taken? Was there a public comment period? Did your mayor, I know there's a county mayor and a city mayor, you're already smiling. Did they come to the community and say, hey, this thing's going would like to be in our community, and here's what it's about?
Absolutely not. We knew nothing about this project. Many elected officials even were caught by surprise, but we later learned that elected officials and appointed officials actually signed non-disclosure agreements with XAI and Elon Musk to not talk about the project. Elect people who get tax money for their jobs signed non-disclosure agreements with the richest man in the world's company, and decided that they did not have a responsibility to inform the community about this project. And so many of us, most of us, I would say, were completely caught off guard. And now that the community has organized and has galvanized, the mayor of Memphis in particular, Paul Young, is expending significant social and political capital to try and defend this project that is indefensible. I just got an invitation to a meeting of state leaders next week that he's trying to hold to convince us that this is actually a good idea. But where was this meeting beforehand? Where was the meeting with the community beforehand? They're meeting with pastors and clergy behind closed doors. You know these tactics. Where was that before this was announced? It didn't exist, because our lives and our lungs are being auctioned off on behalf of Elon Musk. And it's wrong, and it's immoral, and it's unjust. And unfortunately, our political leadership in the city and the county, with the mayor in the county, Lee Harris, who has been completely quiet on this entire matter, has been hurting us. And now our health department, which is responsible for the Clean Air Act, has this permit that they have to approve or deny. And that we're pushing with everything we got for them to deny, to protect our right to clean air.
And so the promise of jobs is always the way that these kinds of projects come into communities. And more often than not, it's communities of color. This is where they like to locate. They don't locate them in the posh areas. They don't locate them in the wealthy areas. They locate them generally near Black people or near Indigenous people or brown people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the promise of jobs is the trade-off that people are offered. How many jobs
Mm-hmm.
is this XAI plant going to produce?
They have said that it is going to produce maybe 200 jobs, and that 80% of them are people in Memphis. They won't tell us the listing of jobs, though, because I am convinced the majority of those jobs are janitorial and security staff jobs that are held by people who are in Memphis and Shelby County, which is a predominantly Black city. And that the images that I have seen of the XAI team does not reflect the demographics of our city or of our county. So these aren't jobs for us. They aren't going to be things that we are going to benefit from. We are being exploited. And this is a form of neo-colonialism of Black lower wealth, lower income communities due to the political, what I would say, malpractice of cowardice by people who are supposed to be protecting us. Like, there's a reason we have people who are in offices in a representative democracy, and it's so that they represent the people. But we are seeing, whether that be at the national level and all the way through the state level, and I experienced that in the state house. Now, right here locally in our city and our county, where we are being mistreated and we are consistently being run over for the profits of the world's richest man.
Is the mayor, Paul Young, is he Black?
Yes, and the mayor of Shelby County is also Black, and the director of the health department, Dr. Michelle Taylor, is also Black. But
I
it does
asked
no
that
good when we
question.
have these Black folks and we get the same results we would with white supremacists.
Right. And I asked that question very specifically because this forum, and for those of you who are listening, thank you all for jumping into this live conversation with Representative Justin J. Pearson of the great city of Memphis in Tennessee. Um, this is what happens on the continent. As you well know, Representative, these AI companies have been building these kinds of facilities in African countries where they get African leaders, Black leaders, to go along with it in exchange again for money, for promises of investment. And there's sometimes some very tricky questions about whether the actual leaders are getting paid. And so it's scandalous. And a lot of these African countries are now saying, no, we don't want this. When they get new leadership, they say, we don't want to be poisoned in exchange for 30 pieces of silver. And so you're seeing these AI companies move those operations here. And then I'll also add that Donald Trump wants everything to be, made in America. And he wants us to have factories and choking factories where people die young from Black lung disease. He wants all that back. So they want them here. Trump wants everything to be here. So it's not shocking that there are Black leaders doing this. What's the pushback? What has been the pushback so far? I know your brother has been very much involved in it. I think I know Elizabeth Booker, who people know is Booker Squared online. There are lots of people who are doing activism. What's the pushback?
Yeah, I mean, the community is rising up in an extraordinary way. Elizabeth, people like Keyshawn Pearson, who's helping lead our efforts at Memphis Community Against Pollution. I mean, Young, Gifted, and Green with Latricia Adams. And then, can I be honest, there's this emergence of even younger leaders who really are inspiring me, and they're creating their own organizations, Young Educated Minds, and the college students have a Tigers versus Pollution organization that they've built out. And so we are seeing the resistance building just so that we can preserve what should be a human right, which is the right to clean air. And what Mayor Young and Mayor Harris and the Chamber of Commerce are pushing is this idea that the only way that you're going to get any economic development is if you auction off your lungs. If you auction off your health, then you'll be able to see the progress that economic development promises. And it is very similar to what you said is happening across the continent of Africa. And we have lessons to learn there. And we also have a responsibility to be more engaged than we've ever been before.
Dive into the magical world of Edwina's Bedtime Adventures by Ariel Williams. Join Edwina, the little hippo with a big imagination, as she drifts off to sleep and embarks on whimsical bedtime journeys. Whether she's saving the day as a brave firefighter, caring for patients as a nurse at Sunny Valley Hospital, or exploring the wonders of the jungle, Edwina's heartwarming tales will capture the imagination of young readers and spark endless bedtime giggles. This is an electronic book. You'll need an EPUB reader or PDF reader to enjoy this whimsical tale. Get your copy today at lulubooks.com or follow the link tree in profile to get your copy and let the adventure begin.
Gas Station Diaries by Adam King is a compelling collection of fictional stories drawn from the author's experiences working at a gas station during the tumultuous year of 2020. Set in the unassuming locale of Rainbow Land, the narrative unfolds in a place where time seems to stand still, yet unexpected drama and human encounters abound. This is an electronic book. You must upload an EPUB reader or a PDF reader to enjoy this book. Get your copy today at lulubooks.com and let the story unfold.
The Baker and the Handyman's Sweet Connection. In a quaint village nestled in a picturesque valley, there stood a small house in the shape of a mushroom. This whimsical home belonged to a young boy named Jamie, barely out of high school, who had a passion for baking. Inside, his cozy kitchen was always filled with the sweet aroma of cakes, cookies, and all sorts of delightful treats. What made his creation special was that each of his cakes was shaped like tiny mushrooms, a nod to his quirky home. Jamie's baking became the talk of the town. From birthdays to celebrations, everyone in the village adored his sweets.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
Sable's Song, A Siren's Journey to Joy. Once upon a time, in a small, worn-out town in Middle America, there lived a little child named Sable. Worn into poverty, Sable's body was frail, so thin that you could see her bones, but her heart was filled with an exuberance that not even hunger could dull. Sable was awkward, with dark, deep-set eyes that sparkled with innocence and wonder. Despite being born a boy, Sable always knew she was different. Inside her lived a girl, bright and effervescent, waiting to bloom.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
The Park of Secrets.
In the year 2060, near the heart of Florida, just a stone's throw from Disney World, stood a theme park unlike any other, a place known as the House of Secrets. It was a magical park, much like a state fair, filled with towering rides, carnival games, and parades that drew people from all over the world. But among the grand Ferris wheel and the colorful day parade, there was one attraction that outshined them all, the parade princess, a mesmerizing mermaid named Kenya. Kenya was a sight to behold. At 22 years old, fresh out of college, she had the kind of beauty that drew people to her like moths to a flame. Her brown skin glowed under the park lights, her hair a stunning mix of purple and pink that cascaded over her shoulders. Little pink hearts adorned her cheeks, and a ribbon of color stretched across her nose. But it wasn't just her beauty that made her special. Her eyes, big and almond-shaped, seemed to capture the hearts of everyone who saw.
Discover the magic of the Park of Secrets. Step into a world of wonder with the Park of Secrets, a heartwarming tale by Ariel Williams that will captivate your imagination. This enchanting story is now available exclusively on Lulu Books.
The Future, Daughters of Liberty, A New Dawn. In 2040, the United States was a fractured nation, still reeling from the fallout of Project 2025, the catastrophic policy that had allowed a resurgence of systemic oppression. The Deep South had seceded once more, forming the antebellum republic, where human trafficking, racial inequality, and gender oppression became tragically normalized. The Second Civil War erupted as the rest of the nation sought to free those trapped in this dystopian regime. After years of bloodshed, Kamala Harris had finally led the Union to victory, restoring a fragile sense of hope. But the battle scars ran deep, especially in places like Louisiana, where the remnants of a broken society still lingered.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
A dying planet, the last harvest.
In the year 2060, Earth is a shadow of its former self, choked by pollution, endless concrete, and abandoned by nature. Only a small fishing village by the sea has managed to preserve the planet's last untouched forest. In this dying world, June and Win, two young girls and the last children in their village, cling to the remnants of hope and innocence. Win roams the forest, collecting the season's last harvest, while June sings songs that echo with a haunting beauty through the village.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.